Do carbon plate shoes actually make you faster? Here's the truth the shoe companies stay very quiet about. A single pair of these can cost $280. They've broken every distance record on the track and the road, and millions of runners are convinced they bend the laws of physics. But researchers at the University of Colorado put them on a treadmill, strapped oxygen masks to runners' faces, and measured exactly what these shoes do to your body. The number they found is real. But what nobody tells you is who actually gets that number, and who is quietly lighting $200 on fire. So before you buy a single pair, watch this. By the end, you'll know exactly whether carbon plate shoes will make you faster. First, how did we even get here? Back in 2017, Nike dropped a shoe with a stiff carbon fiber plate baked inside a giant slab of foam and called it the Vaporfly. Within 2 years, almost every major marathon record had fallen. Then Eliud Kipchoge ran a marathon in under 2 hours wearing them. Every other brand panicked and rushed to copy the formula. Today, if you watch the front of any major marathon, every single runner is wearing some version of a carbon plate super shoe. So they clearly work for the pros. The real question is why, and whether any of that actually reaches you. Now, when all those records started falling, a huge fight broke out. Critics called it technological doping. They argued that if a shoe hands you free speed, the records aren't really fair anymore, and some people demanded the shoes be banned outright. Others fired back that athletes have always used better gear, from lighter spikes to faster tracks. The debate got so heated that the sport itself had to step in and set hard limits, which we'll get to. But the controversy proved one thing beyond any doubt. Nobody argues this hard about a shoe that doesn't actually work. Here's what's really going on inside a super shoe. Most people think it's all about the carbon plate. It isn't. A super shoe is actually 3 things working together. 1. A stiff, curved plate, usually carbon fiber. 2. A thick slab of a special new foam. And 3. An aggressive rocker shape that curves up at the toe. Take any one of these away and most of the magic disappears. Everyone obsesses over the plate, but the science points at a completely different hero. Let me show you each piece, one at a time. Start with the plate. For years, everyone assumed the carbon plate acted like a spring, that it stored your energy and catapulted you forward. That turned out to be mostly a myth. On its own, the plate barely returns any energy at all. What it actually does is stiffen the shoe, so your toe joint doesn't have to work as hard, and it acts like a lever that controls how the whole shoe rolls. So think of the plate less as a spring and more as the stiff backbone that makes everything else work. Now the real secret, the foam. This is where the speed actually comes from. Older shoes used basic EVA foam, the kind that returns maybe 60% of the energy you put into it. Super shoes use a brand new generation of foam, with names like PEBA, that's incredibly light and springy, returning around 85% of your energy. So with every single step, you waste less. Now multiply that by the 40,000 steps in a marathon, and it adds up to real, measurable time. The plate gets the headlines, the foam does the work. The third piece is the part almost nobody talks about, the shape. Super shoes have an aggressive rocker, where the sole curves up at the front like the bottom of a rocking chair. Combine that stiff plate with that curve, and the shoe tips you forward onto your next step before your body even has to. It's like the shoe is gently falling forward, and you just go along for the ride. Plate, foam, and rocker. Together, they quietly rewrite the math of running. So, how much do they actually save you? Time for the proof. This is the study that started everything. In 2018, researchers at the University of Colorado published this in the journal Sports Medicine. They took 18 fast runners, put them on a treadmill, strapped oxygen masks to their faces, and measured exactly how much energy they burned in the new shoes versus the best normal racing shoes. And the result is right here. On average, the super shoes improved running economy by 4%. 4%! In a sport where athletes fight over tenths of a percent, that number was an earthquake. So what does 4% actually mean for you? 4% better running economy doesn't make you 4% faster. It works out to roughly 2% faster finishing times. That sounds tiny until you do the math. If you run a 4-hour marathon, 2% is almost 5 minutes. 5 minutes for free, from nothing but what's on your feet. For a serious runner chasing a personal best, that is absolutely enormous. This is exactly why the shoes took over the sport. But here is where it gets complicated. Here's the first thing nobody tells you, that 4% is an average. When the researchers looked at the runners one by one, the range was massive. Some runners got more than 6%, others got barely 2%. And later research found people, real fit runners, whose bodies respond almost not at all. Scientists actually call them non-responders. So when a brand promises you 4%, understand what that really means. You might personally get 6, you might get 1, and there is no way to know until you run in them yourself. Second catch, and this is the big one. Super shoes work best when you run fast. The quicker you move, the more that foam and that rocker actually pay off. At slow, easy jogging speeds, the benefit shrinks dramatically. Some research suggests that for slower runners, the advantage can almost disappear entirely. So if you're cruising easy miles at a relaxed pace, you are getting a fraction of what the elites get, while paying the exact same full price. These shoes reward speed. If you don't have it yet, they don't have much to give you. Third catch. These shoes are fragile, and they're expensive. That magic foam that gives you all the energy return, it breaks down fast. Most super shoes start losing their pop after just 150 to 250 miles, a fraction of a normal trainer's lifespan, and they cost $200 to $280 a pair. So do the math. You're paying premium money for a shoe with a short life. That's exactly why almost nobody trains in them every day. You save them for the race that actually matters. There's one more thing the brands had to deal with: the rules. The shoes got so effective that the sport's governing body, World Athletics, actually stepped in. They drew a hard line. For road racing, the sole can be no thicker than 40 millimeters, and only one plate is allowed inside. Anything past that is banned from competition. Think about what that means. The technology got so good, they had to write a rule to stop it from getting any better. That alone tells you these shoes do something very real. So let's get brutally honest about who these are actually for. If you're racing, chasing a personal best, running a fast 5K, a half, or a full marathon, and you've got genuine pace, then a super shoe is one of the best upgrades money can buy. Full stop. But if you're a brand new runner, or you mostly run easy, relaxed miles for fitness and fun, then a $280 super shoe is mostly buying you bragging rights. The shoe was never the problem. It's whether it matches what you actually do out there. And here's the part that makes this a minefield today. It is no longer just Nike. Adidas, Asics, Saucony, Hoka, New Balance, Puma. Almost every brand now sells its own carbon plate super shoe. And here's the catch. They are absolutely not all equal. Different foams, different plates, different shapes, all wrapped in the same premium price tag and the same big promises. Some are genuinely brilliant. Some are just riding the hype. Pick the wrong one and you're paying super shoe money for a very ordinary ride. So, do carbon plate shoes actually make you faster? Here's the honest answer. Yes, they are the biggest leap in running shoe technology in decades, and the science behind them is completely real. But they make you faster in direct proportion to how fast you already are and how hard you are racing. They're a sharp tool, built for one specific job. Used for that job on race day, at pace, they are absolutely worth it. Used for slow jogging, they're an expensive placebo wrapped in a brilliant marketing story. So, if you are going to buy a pair, here's how to actually get your money's worth. 1. Save them for races and your fastest workouts. Don't burn that foam on easy days. 2. Run at least a couple of fast sessions in them before race day so they don't feel alien under you. And 3. Be honest about the benefit. If you're not running hard, you simply aren't unlocking the technology. Match the shoe to the runner you actually are, not the one in the commercial. So here's the bottom line. Carbon plate shoes are not a scam, and they are not magic. They are a real, scientifically proven advantage for runners who are genuinely racing. Everyone else is paying elite prices for a benefit they will barely feel. So before you drop $280, ask yourself one simple question. Am I buying speed or am I buying a story? If this helped you spend smarter, subscribe. Because next, we're settling which brand's super shoe is actually the fastest. You really don't want to guess wrong on that one.